So what I want to do today is dive into the gear that I've been using with this pack. It's a 20-liter pack. It's pretty small. So we're going to look at two different gear loadouts. For the majority, everything's going to be the same. We're going to look at one system. It's going to be around right at 7 pounds. A system to take me down to right around 40 degrees comfortably. And then we're going to look at another loadout that would take me down to the mid-20s. So the gear that's in this pack right now is the lighter load. So this is right at 7 pounds. The pack itself, my pack weighs just slightly over 11 ounces. Like I said, it's a 20-liter pack. It's fairly small. So I'm just going to go ahead and start tearing everything out of this thing. I'll try and keep it as short and sweet as I can, maybe give a few details of some of these things. Let's start on the side pockets here. We've got 2 water bottles. These are just 1 liter disposable bottles, but these things last forever, so you can just keep using them and using them. I've got toilet paper and a small bottle of hand sanitizer on this side. Got a couple of disposable poop bags in here. These are, for picking up dog poop. This is so that if I find something on trail, I like to pick up trash as I go. So this is so that if there's something really nasty and gnarly, I can still clean it up and pack it out. So I keep a few of these. All right, moving on to the front. In these pockets, I don't have anything in here right now, but this is where I would carry all my snacks and possibly my sunglasses. But typically what I have in here is I load this side up with a bunch of bars and food for the day, and then this side I usually have like a buff. If it's colder, I might have a really light pair of gloves in here. And that's going to be it on the front. Start going into the back. Big pocket here. This is super stretchy pocket on this pack. You can cram it full of tons of stuff. So I've got my ditty bag. We'll go through that in just a second. I've got a small piece of chamois. This is great for dealing with condensation or any type of water you need to clean up. It's super lightweight, dries really, really fast. And I think this piece that I have here weighs like less than ½ an ounce. So great little pack towel. This is my Deuce of Spades trowel for digging cat holes. This is a small piece of cut off water bottle. I use this if I have a really shallow water source. I can scoop water out and still be able to filter water. I keep a rubber band on here just in case I need a rubber band and to hold the trowel in place. Got a Sawyer squeeze. This is by far the best water filter out there in my opinion. If you're looking for a water filter, I would just go straight to this guy. Don't mess with anything else. Got a sport cap on the top here. I like to have a sport cap because you can pop this guy off, put it on one of these water bottles here, and you can fit it right onto the filter and it's back flush on the go. You don't need to carry the big syringe that they give you when you buy the filter. So that's a good thing to have. This is a 1-inch webbing belt. This is for, you can attach this to the pack and use it as a hip belt essentially. So, you can take a little bit of the load off of your shoulders. Honestly though, this pack and this loadout, there's no need for a hip belt. You can easily carry it and it's more than comfortable, even with 3 or 4 days worth of food. So I carry this just in case. The other reason I carry it is because I use it to strap around trees, and then I slide my phone and with a very small tripod in behind the strap, and it holds it in place in case I want to shoot some video. That's a great way to mount it to the trees. So, and let's see what else we got in here. This is rain skirt, 3F UL. I've had this thing for several years. These things are great. This particular rain skirt is, man, it's like 15 bucks I think on Amazon. We actually have a couple of these now throughout my family, but this is the one that I've had for quite a few years. They're also great to just throw on the ground if it's really muddy and you want to lay some stuff out on the ground. A lot of times I will also just, in the summer when we get a quick thunderstorm, it's just pouring down rain. A lot of times I won't even put this around my waist. I'll just let my shorts get soaked. They'll dry out really quick. But what I do just to stay warm, because the temperature can drop, wind can pick up, and even in summer when you're soaking wet hiking in a thunderstorm, it can definitely get cold. But what I do is I just, instead of pulling out my rain jacket and then I'll sweat, I just take this thing and hook the Velcro in the loop like that goes around your waist, and I just throw it around my neck kind of like a cape. And that's enough to block the wind and kind of trap heat around me and keeps me warm. And yeah, this thing's rad. 3F UL gear. And tent stakes. So this is the same setup that I use for pretty much all of my shelters. There's 8 stakes. There's 6 titanium shepherd hook stakes in here. Like, let me just pull one of these guys out. So there's 6 of these guys, little titanium dudes, and these work totally fine. These are great stakes, as long as you're careful with them. You know, don't start beating on them with rocks and stomping on them with your foot. If you're careful, in most places, these work just fine. And if you get into an area where it's just super rocky soil and you just can't get the stake in the ground, you can always just hook the line to the stake in the middle and then just set a rock on top of it, and that holds great. So those work good. And then for my main tie outs on my shelters that are going to take the biggest wind load and the most stress, I use 2 of the titanium V stakes. I believe these came from Zpacks. I've had these for quite a few years. I've bent one right here, and that was really my fault. I just put too much pressure on it with my foot. I was being impatient. It was pouring down rain, and yeah, I bent it, but I ended up just bending it back, and I still have that stake. So yeah, 8 stakes total. This is a Dyneema stake bag. This is from LiteAF. Great little size. Fits everything fits in there nice, and you don't lose your stakes. So you could see everything that I just took out of there only filled this pocket up like halfway, and it wasn't even bulging out. I mean, this thing is crazy stretchy. So anyway, that's that pocket. Now going into the inside of the pack. Roll top closure with a cam snap. Now if you want to know more information about this pack in particular, they just did a limited run on the multi, LiteAF did, and they are sold out right now, but they're definitely going to be making more, and I will have links to the multi, to LiteAF, and to all the gear that I'm going to talk about today. So just check out the description, you'll find links to everything. All right, so diving into the pack. First and foremost, on top, easy access food bag. There's really not much in there right now, but this is the food bag from LiteAF. Pretty big, roll top. I mean, you can put, I don't know, man, you could probably put 7 days worth of food into this bag. So inside of here, I have a couple of empty Ziploc bags labeled dinner, lunch, whatever. This is a way that I like to organize my food a little bit. This is my trash bag that I've had forever. You guys have probably seen that before if you see me do a gear dump. I always wash these and save them. That one's lasted a few years now. Got my LiteAF rucksack. This is what I use to hang my food bag in a tree. This works great. It's got the bear line inside, and it's nice and slick, and it's super easy to get up into the tree. And I noticed that the line that comes with this does not tangle very easily, which is really nice. Okay, we got pot. Get into that in a minute. Bread bags. You guys watch any of my videos, you know I'm a huge fan of bread bags. They're multi-purpose. There's like a ton of things you can use these for. I just did a video recently about camp shoes, 0.4 ounce camp shoes. This is how you make 0.4 ounce camp shoes. So go back and watch that video and you'll see what I'm talking about. But these are awesome for a lot of different things. So I keep a few of those in my food bag. And then I have just a couple of wet fire fire starters. These things are like the size of a dinner mint, and they actually look like a dinner mint too. But yeah, they burn really, really well with a big flame for about 5 or 6 minutes. You can dunk them in water and they'll still light, no problem. So I keep a couple of these in here. They're really lightweight. I don't even know what these weigh, but not much of anything. So that is food bag. Oh, this is a little drink bag I have. It's got my spoon, it's got my toothpaste, it's got a little bamboo kids toothbrush. No need to cut it in half because it's already like this long. Super lightweight, and a couple of little leftover drink mixes from my last trip. So I keep all that, like my toothpaste and everything, in here. That way it's already in my food bag. So when I go to hang things up, all my smellables are already in my bag. So I don't have to worry about it. Before I jump into the cook pot, let's do the cook pot first, then I'll go back to the ditty bag before I forget. Move this out of the way so you guys can see a little bit better. All right. So this is a LiteAF Dyneema sack for my pot, and it fits this thing so good, like perfect. I don't know how he gets it so tight, but this is a 750 milliliter Toaks titanium pot. I find this size to be really nice. I'm a big coffee drinker. I love coffee in the morning, maybe in the middle of the day, and then maybe even a cup like when I finally make camp in the evening. But this is, you know, shaped like a mug. It's a mug style pot, and 750 milliliters, in my opinion, is a perfect size. It's about as small as you can go and still fit a reasonable amount of food in here and make your meals in the pot if you want. If you're just going to boil water and pour them into a dehydrated bag like Mountain House or Backpacker's Pantry, yeah, this is a great size pot. I've had this one for a long time and it's still going strong. So inside the pot, I got a couple of old cut pieces of bandana, and I use these mainly just to keep things from rattling around inside of my pot, but also if I need to like wipe something up, I can do that, dip this in a stream later and just hang it on my pack, and they dry like super quick. So a couple of those. Got a BRS stove in here. Probably are aware of the stove. If you're not, I've had this one for about 3 years. It's going strong. Never had any problems with it. This thing weighs like right at an ounce or a little bit less. It is a small stove, so you're not going to want to put any like super heavy, you know, like a big pot with a lot of water on it. But for something like my pot, perfect. Perfect size, handles the weight no problem, and yeah, I've had great luck with it. And this is the first one that I bought, the original. But since then, we have like 3 or 4 that we use throughout my family. My sons use these, my wife uses these. I bought one for my brother. He's been using it for about 2 years. So collectively, we have tested the crap out of this stove, and it works great. One more thing, lighter. This is not a Bic, it's a knockoff, but I find it's got these little, you're not going to be able to see it, but I'm just describe it as best I can. When it gets really cold and your fingers start to get numb, maybe it's raining and it's like, you know, chilly, like 30s, 40 degrees, it gets kind of hard to use a regular Bic. Your finger wants to slide, and this lighter has like these little knobby, I don't know, weird little knots on it, and man, it's really, you really grab it. So anyway, I switched it out for my Bic, and it's been going strong for a while. So that is the cook pot. Just show all that in there for a second. Might run out of space on this table. All right, so ditty bag. I'm gonna go through the ditty bag. Okay. This is a Dyneema roll top little dry bag. This one is actually from Zpacks. This one's 3 or 4 years old. I just keep it on the outside of my pack so I can get any of this stuff whenever I want. So just dump this bad boy out. A couple more bread bags with a rubber band, multi-purpose, small tube of almost empty antifungal cream. This is great for like athlete's foot or jock itch or any type of fungal anything that you might get while you're out on the trail. If you're out there for like 4 or 5 days and you start itching, you know, you're sweaty as hell and you're dirty, I find that it's killer to have some of this stuff, just so makes things a little bit more comfortable. Extra backup mini Bic, couple of earplugs. I don't use these so much, but my wife does. She sleeps pretty good nowadays out in the woods, but if there's other loud hikers or the wind's super strong or really loud thunder or whatever, this is a great way to block out the sound. And these are like the little disposable guys, the foam ones, and they weigh absolutely nothing. So I keep these just in case there's someone else who needs earplugs, more or less. Now, if I was sleeping in a shelter, say on the Appalachian Trail, and there's a dude like a couple of feet from me that's just sawing logs, snoring, yeah, I'll probably throw these in my ears. So these are a good thing to have. This is a small little Ziploc with another little Ziploc inside. This is a couple of Advil and Benadryl in this pack. So obviously Advil is for aches and pains and possible fever, something like that. Benadryl is for allergic reactions. I'm allergic to fire ants. I don't typically run into fire ants while I'm hiking in the mountains, but there are some areas where you will run into biting ants, so I keep some Benadryl. Also, as a last resort for individuals who might not be able to sleep, Benadryl is a great option. 1 or 2 and you just sleep the night away. So that's what that is. A little pad patch. This is from Thermarest. This is a cut piece of Gear Aid tape, tenacious tape. Kind of the same thing, just multi-purpose, fix anything really. This stuff's super sticky. And we got an alcohol swab to clean off whatever you're going to patch. Say your pad is popped, you need to wipe it down with this first. These are pieces of rock tape. This is a sports tape, but it is a certain type of sport tape that is specifically made to be super, super sticky and stretchy. This is the H2O version of rock tape. This stuff stays on forever. You can swim, shower, sweat, whatever for days, and this stuff will stay on. So these are cut actually for blisters. I don't have problems with blisters, but like I said, I keep some of this stuff, like if my kids or my wife or whoever I'm hiking with might happen to get a blister, I've got it, and that way I'm covered as far as a little basic first aid goes. This is Imodium. I think everybody knows what Imodium's for. If you're having a bad day and you're running out into the woods over and over and over, that's what Imodium's for. We got aqua tabs in case my water filter fails. These are just tabs you can drop into your water. You wait for a certain period of time and you've got safe water to drink. So got like 3 or 4 of these guys just in case as a backup. This is a needle and just a little bit of thread wrapped around a piece of cardboard in case I need to sew something up. Pepto-Bismol tablets. Yeah, having an upset stomach in the woods, not so much fun. I had a pretty uncomfortable night. A couple of years ago, I woke up at like 3 in the morning, just like shooting pains and sweating and, you know, dizzy. And I actually was out with my son and a friend of his. And so just in case to like get me through that, obviously Pepto is not going to fix that problem, but to just try and make it a little bit more comfortable, I decided to start carrying some of these. So extra water bottle cap. This is a sport cap. That way I can also back flush my filter if I lose the other one. This is a little thing of dental floss. This is great for using with the needle to sew things up or to tie something up, whatever. This is an extra washer for my water filter. They do fall out. I suggest just a couple of little drops of super glue and pop that thing back in there. Mine has never fallen out in like 3 or 4 years. but I keep this one just in case, or if somebody else loses theirs, I've got an extra. One little tiny carabiner from LiteAF. This comes in handy for all sorts of things, and it weighs nothing. Earbuds, in case I want to listen to a podcast, music, whatever. Man, I don't remember the name of this whistle, but my brother bought it for me, and supposedly it's the loudest whistle on earth. It's got a little bit of cord on here so you can hang it around your neck, and then I have Sharpied dots on here so that the boys, whenever they go off to explore or whatever, I try and make sure that one of them has this whistle. That way they can blow it if they get in trouble, and having the dots on there so that they know, because they might forget how to blow the whistle for an SOS call. They can just look at it and they'll know exactly what to do. It also has my name and phone number on there, so it's around their neck, contact information, SOS call, loudest whistle on the planet. So good thing to have. This is a loop of shot cord. I keep this mainly for Doritos or other chips. So when I got a chip bag and I roll it down and I need to keep it closed, that's what this is mainly for. I just put it around the chip bag and shove it back in this pocket. That's it. So that's everything from the ditty bag. Okay, we're really filling this table up quick. I'm gonna put this on the floor. So the next thing in here is my my rain jacket. I just have it kind of tucked in around my shelter to kind of fill in the voids in this pack. This is the Groundhog UL2. Been using these jackets for several years. They're great. They're inexpensive. I know a lot of people say they're not very durable. If you go through a bunch of briars or you do a lot of bushwhacking, I would not recommend this jacket because you're going to tear holes in it. But if it's light bushwhacking, a little bit of off-trail, you know, exploration or whatever, but you're mainly hiking on trails, these things are the bomb. I mean, they're cheap, they're super lightweight. This thing weighs like 5.5 ounces. This is a size medium, if anybody's wondering. I'm 6'1", almost 6'2", and I weigh 180 pounds, and this thing fits me perfect. They also have like kind of a loose fit, which is nice because it allows some airflow. They breathe okay, but yeah, they're great jackets. I've had $200 rain jackets, and I went back to this. So they are, they're killer. Check them out, Groundhogs. Okay, shelter. This is one of the shelters that I've used with this pack. I've carried 2 in this pack so far, but this is my primary go-to shelter. This is the Zpacks Duplex. I think everybody's pretty familiar with it. Super lightweight, killer shelter, and it does fit into this pack pretty easily. You just need to make sure that you kind of, you know, push the air out of it, and I actually put it into the pack instead of flat this way and shoving it down in. I actually put it in like that, and then you have a little bit of space next to the tent. So that goes in there. What's next? That gets us into the trash compactor bag. This is a regular old trash compactor bag. I use it to line my pack. I put everything in there that I want to stay dry. Works great. They're cheap. They last for a long time. And I recommend that if you're going to use any pack, even Dyneema, you should probably have a pack liner, and this is a good choice. All right, this is the Alpaca Crew from Appalachian Gear Company. I can't possibly say enough good things about Appalachian Gear Company. I have this crew. I've got a hoodie that I've had for quite a while. I have worn the mess out of these things, and they are the bomb. Like, I don't think there's a fabric on the planet right now that can compete with alpaca. And this is 100% alpaca. So if you go looking for something that is alpaca, you need to make sure that it's not a blend, because most people are blending it with nylon or something else. And this is 100%. John figured out a way to make this knitted fabric for outdoor clothing, and it's amazing. The stuff, it's warm, it's comfortable, it breathes well, it dries fast, it doesn't stink. It's super amazing. So Appalachian Gear Company, check them out. All right, this is my extra clothing and also a bug head net. I keep my clothing in here, and I also use it to wrap around my pad and my inflatable pillow to keep my pillow in place. I have a video on that. You can check it out if you'd like. So I've got a pair of just cotton boxers just to sleep in, nice and comfortable. These are the legs from a pair of women's cheap fleece leggings that I bought maybe 4 years ago. I bought them at Walmart. They were like $5, and I just bought like the double XL version, and these things are incredibly warm, and they're super stretchy too. I mean, look at this thing. It's insane. So what I did is I just cut the legs off, and because they're so stretchy, I can actually fit them over top of my shoes. So I can put these on while I'm hiking on cold mornings or whatever, and then I can take them off. And even in the summer, when it's warmer like it is right now, I carry them because they weigh, both of these weigh the same as a pair of like mid-weight Darn Tough socks. And as sleep socks, they're also fantastic because you can double them up, triple them up, however you want to do it to make them even more warm. Like if your feet get really cold, you can slide these things up over your feet, and then you just kind of roll it up on itself, you know, and double it up like that, and you end up with a double layered fleece sock basically. Or you can just pull the things up your legs like leg warmers or tights or whatever. So super versatile, lightweight, and crazy warm. I'm sure there's some people that would probably make fun of me for that, but I don't care. They work. All right. Pillow. Oh, I forgot one thing. This is my Appalachian Gear Company beanie. This is alpaca as well. It's so thin, but it's so warm. This thing's great. So I keep this with me all the time. It's always in my pack. So great little hat. This is my Sea Summit Ultralight pillow. I've had this thing forever. I think it weighs like maybe 2.5 ounces. It's the size regular or size large. It's not the small one. But yeah, it's been a great pillow. It's comfortable. I'm a side sleeper, back sleeper, stomach sleeper. I move around a lot. But I find it's tall enough for a side sleeper. It still works pretty good. So definitely a fan of that guy. So this is my sleeping pad for this lighter weight, warmer loadout. This is the Ultralight from Thermarest. This has been a great pad for me. I've had this one for, I don't know, 1.5, 2 years, since it was like one of the first ones they put out. I got one immediately. And I know a lot of people have had trouble with the pad losing air overnight. I have not really seen that with my pad. This thing is, it's great. It's super lightweight, and my kids actually are always trying to steal it because they think it's super comfortable. And we've all been a pretty big fan. So the Ultralight, I think it's about 9 ounces total for that pad, and super small rolled up, obviously. All right, I think we're at the bottom. This quilt, this is the Thermarest Vesper quilt. Put that on the floor. This quilt is rated for 32 degrees. They do have a legit rating system for their quilts, and it's also got nick wax down. It's 900 fill power down. I bought this quilt used off of eBay, and I've been super stoked on it. It's a ridiculously minimalist quilt. Like, there's no crazy straps on it. The foot box is kind of narrow, but it does have a nice foot shape to it, so it's not like putting a bunch of pressure on your toes. It's sewn through, but I have found, so it's rated to 32. I think they put the comfort level right around 40 degrees, and I have used this quilt with the Ultralight right at 40 degrees or just slightly below that, sleeping in boxers or shorts, and then I had my alpaca top on and a warm hat, and I was good to go. So yeah, it's a great quilt. It packs down super small. It weighs just slightly less than a pound. Let's move on to the other items that I have carried in this pack. There's only a couple of them. We'll do that real quick, and then I'll repack this thing. We'll take a look at it with the more substantial gear, and we'll get a weight, and that'll be it. This is the other pad that I have carried and used. This is a size large Thermarest. X-Lite has their new valve, which is insanely better than the old valve. I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about. You're like blowing into the thing and trying to tighten it up at the same time, and it's a pain in the ass. But this new valve, the wing lock that they call it, is such an improvement. It's a little bigger, but man, it works so good. I can't even tell you how much I like it more than the other ones. And being that this is a size large, you know, this pad is, I think, 77 inches long by 25 inches wide. So this is like full luxury right here. So this is a big step up from the Ultralight. So this would also go in there with the second gear loadout. And this is the loadout that's going to take me down to the mid-20s. This is my inexpensive, cheap puffy jacket from TJ Maxx, which is like a discount store. Also had this thing for a number of years. It's worked great for me. There's a link to this jacket in the description. It is surprisingly warm, and yeah, I just give it a little fluff occasionally, like once a year in the dryer, and it's been great. So I will add this to my kit to get me down into those lower temperatures. I'm going to wear this around camp, as well as I'm probably going to wear this when I sleep, also just to boost the temperature with my sleep system. There are also, I mentioned earlier that I might carry a pair of lightweight gloves in that front pocket. These are possum down gloves, lightweight and super warm and really, really comfortable. So I just keep those in the pockets of my jacket unless I am on trail, and then I'll have them in my exterior pocket usually. So that's the additional insulation. One last thing. This is the warmer quilt that I would pack. This is the Katabatic Alsek. This is like the Ferrari of quilts, at least so far in my experience. The quality of these quilts is ridiculously amazing. The way the quilt is designed, the shape, everything. You have plenty of room. The way that the quilt is cut so that the inside is actually a little bit smaller than the outside fabric, so you can't push through the insulation. Everything about this thing is just amazing. I've had really good experience with this quilt, and this quilt is rated to 22 degrees. I find that it's legit. Like their temperature ratings, when they say something is rated to 22 degrees, that is a comfort rating. So you're going to be warm at that temperature, and of course that's an average sleeper and everybody's different, but I find myself to be average or maybe just slightly on the cold side. And with this quilt, I am more than warm, even without the puffy up top. If I've really got it cinched up around my neck and I've got a warm hat and maybe a buff around my neck, I'm good. So if I add the puffy, I'm definitely good. So yeah, these quilts are just amazing. They're expensive, no doubt, but definitely worth the investment. I need to do like a full review just on this quilt because yeah, it's rad. I don't know if you can see the shape, but it is so good. Big fan. All right, so that is like a ridiculous amount of stuff I just exploded everywhere. So now I'm going to take my pack, I'm going to pack it back up with the warmer kit that would take me to the mid-20s. All right, we are all packed up. This is the kit that I would use to take me down to the mid-20s. So I switched out those items that I showed you earlier. So we've got the warmer quilt, we've got a bigger, warmer sleeping pad, added a puffy jacket. So that's gonna make a substantial difference in sleep quality, plus being able to stay warm and comfortable in camp and also while sleeping. So you can see that the pack, even though it's a 20-liter pack, with that gear loadout, it still can handle it no problem. I still have, now granted I don't have any food in my food bag at this point, but I still have plenty of space in the top, and this thing's rolled down all the way, and I definitely have a little bit more space. So I think just based on the experience I have so far with hiking with this pack and this loadout that I carried recently, even though this is way too warm for the temperatures we have right now, I just wanted to test it out and see exactly what it would hold and how comfortable it would be with this weight. And I have had 3 and 4 days worth of food in this pack with this gear loadout. So yeah, you can see, I mean, it's good to go. So let's weigh this thing and see what we get. So we are looking at 9 pounds, 3 ounces with the warmer, heavier kit. So both kits definitely comfortable. Good sleep, good size shelter obviously with the Duplex. This pack's super comfortable, so I never thought that I would be able to carry a full 3-season gear loadout with 3 or 4 days worth of food in a 20-liter pack. But here it is in the multi, and yeah, this thing is rad. So this is gonna be my gear loadout pretty much for all 3-season trips. So if I'm carrying additional things, hiking with family, I might jump back up to my 35-liter Curve, also a fantastic pack from LiteAF. But I'm going to give this thing a run for a while. I really enjoy it, and yeah, it's pretty rad to be hiking with a 20-liter pack. I don't know why, but I think it's pretty fun. So I hope you enjoyed all of this information and all of the gear that I drug out of this thing. Like I mentioned before, I'll have links in the description to everything. If you have any questions about the gear, please don't hesitate to either drop a question in the comments below, and also you can send me an email, that's fine too. But yeah, any questions, I'll try and answer as best I can. I'd love to hear your comments on backpacking with a 20-liter pack, a loadout like this. Like, is anyone else doing that? You have experience with it? Do you think you might try it? Like, what do you think of this? You know, so let me know in the comments. Like I said, I'm super stoked. Go to LiteAF, check out their gear. Fantastic company. If you liked the video and you liked all this information, hit the like button. That would be rad. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Going to be diving into a ton more gear, things that I've been testing over the last few months. Now that I'm all packed up, I'm actually leaving tomorrow to head out to the Linville Gorge in North Carolina to do a few days hiking out there. Definitely going to hike with this pack and this gear, so that should be super fun. I'll have a video on that. Like daily stuff, you want to see some of that on Instagram, that you can find at Motivated by Mountains. And yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the gear loadout. My name's Scott. This is Motivated by Mountains. I'll see you again soon.
I'm good. It's kind of hard.
Hot Springs. All right, first 20-mile day. How you feel?
Good.
Yeah? You ready for some food and a shower? Right on. Boom. Let's do it.